everybody. This is Ryan McClanahan with HistoryThroughCards.com. I hope you're all doing very well today. So, I wanted to tell you a little story about a card I saw at the 2003 National in Atlantic City. And this is actually my first National. I was really kind of taken back by the whole scene, and not just Atlantic City. I'll keep it G rated for you guys. Um, I was actually going around from table to table and really kind of feeling very overwhelmed by the experience, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have felt or said in the past about your own experiences with the National. So at one table, I was looking at a couple of cards and I looked over and I see this guy, and I kind of just mentioned to him, "Hey, has anyone ever told you you look like Reggie Jackson?" And he turned to me and said, "That's because I am." And so, and another time I did meet Bill Mastro and Doug Allen as well, and I kind of wish that I got their autographs. And so in the corner of my eye, I see a bunch of 1958 Topps cards and a really interesting 1958 Topps Hank Aaron. And what made this really kind of stand out was the background color. It was a robin's egg blue. Now, this is actually not the All Star card, this was card number 30. His portrait card. And I didn't grab the card because the price tag was about 300 bucks or so, and I just kept on walking around and continuing to do whatever it is I do at the National. In any event, I did have a lot of fun. That was a great show, though. In any event, I never really kind of um, forgot about that card. So years later, I was going through eBay and I see another card just like it, and I picked it up for about 40 bucks. And um, it was something that I really wanted to learn more about, like how this actually occurred, because if you guys know about the 1958 Topps Hank Aaron card, the color is supposed to be like a forest green. Um, However, if you really kind of study the card, you'll notice that it goes from a very dark forest green to gradual lighter green. And the card also has a yellow name variation on top. And in my case, the card that I had was missing the entire yellow print run. Now, I had actually wanted to get more information about this card, so I took it to a couple of shows, and the responses I got were, "Oh, that's okay, that's cool, it's a different color, oh well, And then other responses were, "Oh, that's really neat, it's really cool." But it was the same, like, um, nobody could really tell me anything about the card. So, from my own perspective as a printer, um, we go by a CMYK color model. And so, what that is um, every time you go uh, to print something, it'll pick up different colors. So that it'll go first from magenta to yellow to black and a color called cyan. So it is a turquoise or a teal blue color. And then you're gonna have, like, obviously the black is the key. So we used to go by a color key, usually um, in the corner of the document or whatever we're printing, or on the top. So and that would be what we would go. And then um, on top of it, I'd always do a couple of print runs first, and to see if everything was okay. Like the color itself, everything was printing okay, and a few test runs, if you will, just to make sure. So, um, for whatever reason, this card was missing the entire yellow print run, and it would have been something that I, as a printer, would have noticed immediately. And so this gets me to the checklist part of the card itself. Now, you're not going to find this card in a checklist, not in Charles Bray's book of checklists from 1950, and not Bob Lemke's standard catalog. Um, and so, if you're going by Bob Lemke's standard catalog, as I think a lot of people still do, he's something of a pioneer in the hobby for good reason. But he said if that he was going to add a card or a variation of a player, he would need 5 to 10 copies of the same variation to make sure it's a legit variation, and then he'd add it. However, there is a 1916 M101 card of Oscar Stanage of the Detroit Tigers. I believe he was the catcher. In any event, he has a completely different photo, and I think there's only 3 cards known of that particular subset. So, and I couldn't tell you exactly off the top of my head if it was um, a a I don't know, what kind of M101, because I think there's like 16 different um, backs to that, maybe a sporting life. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here as I always do when it comes to sports cards. So um, that that's what is going on with this card. There's actually only between 10 to 15 copies known to exist. It is extremely rare, and obviously with something that rare, the value is kind of like what you're willing to pay for it, because it is not going to be found in a price guide. So the value or something that you're going to want to pay for kind of depends on between you and the negotiating skills of the dealer. In my case, I paid $40 for it, and I no longer have this card. I actually sold it a couple of years ago to somebody who really wanted it, and in turn, I got a couple of cards that I wouldn't normally have been able to afford otherwise, and equally as rare. Um, but this also is not my favorite card as far as Hank Aaron is concerned, and that's actually this card right here, his 1957 tops. If you know, 1957 is a kind of like a critical year for the hobby, because it tops issued the now standard dimensions for baseball cards or really any card. And this card I picked up at a Hall's auction in Arlington, Massachusetts when I was a teenager for I believe about $20. So not a bad deal at all. Hank Aaron and a really nice set. 1957 was also Hank Aaron's National League MVP year as well. I do really enjoy the photography in this set, and and Hank Aaron's card in particular. I kind of recommend it for anybody who's trying to grab an early Hank Aaron card. Um, but Hank Aaron's kind of interesting as well. His statistics, Major League Baseball included or added um, the Negro League ball players, and actually Hank Aaron started out in the Negro Leagues on November 18th, 1951. And it was with the Indianapolis Clowns. So he hit 5 home runs, and he had a 366 batting average in 26 games in 1952. For whatever reason, uh, those statistics have not been added to his total output, I guess. And so I'm not sure exactly why that is. But really quickly, guys, thank you very much. I really appreciate you stopping by, and give a like and subscribe if you haven't. And until the next time, let me know what you think about this card, actually, and any of your thoughts are greatly welcome. And like I said, until the next time, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.